This podcast is sponsored by IQ Bar.
What if I told you this holiday season you can stuff your face with tasty, craveable snacks and wait for it, feel great? Hi, I'm Will, founder of IQ Bar, the only plant protein bar formulated for your body and your brain. IQ Bar's brain-boosting nutrients are designed to refuel, nourish, and satisfy hunger with zero sugar crash. Featuring delicious holiday flavors like gingerbread, IQ Bars are the less than 200-calorie snack that satisfies your sweet tooth and your protein goals. Right now, take 25% off all IQ Bar products and get free shipping. Also, check out our other limited edition holiday flavors like Peppermint Mocha Jitter-Free IQ Joe Coffee. Clean ingredients, fantastic taste, and zero regrets. 'Tis the season to refuel smarter, hydrate harder, and caffeinate larger with IQ Bar.
Go to eatiqbar.com and enter code AUDIO to get 25% off all IQ Bar products plus free shipping. Again, go to eatiqbar.com and enter code AUDIO.
This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace. You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Edna White, and you are on Keeping It Real on Purpose. This is the place that we talk about real things, and we talk about business, and we talk about how you can make more and do more in your life, your relationships, and of course your business. Today we are totally excited to have Mr. Maxwell Tolliver, who I am excited to learn, and I want you all to learn about the reputation master of restaurants. I think that is so great. I love it. I love the idea of a reputation for a restaurant. You know, usually we have, we worry about where we eat, but Mr. Tolliver is a reputation management agency. Welcome, Maxwell. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for letting me come show and speak to your audience.
Thank you so much for being here. We're excited. So, I'm just going to dive right into it because I see all of these great reviews about what you do. I want to know, what is Tolliver Reputation Management Agency all about?
Okay. Oh, that was an actual question.
That's a question. Yes. An actual question. Yes.
We're about helping. No problem. We are about helping restaurants get better reviews, higher rankings in search engines, so that they can get more sales.
Okay.
And so we try our best to automate the service for them and make it so that they don't have to worry about asking for a review.
Great. And I see that one of your statements here on your website is build your business the right way from the start. Can we talk about how important that is from the start?
Yes. It's interesting how, the gurus out there tell us that we need to get a website and place ads and all this kind of stuff. But the reality is that you first need to make sure that you have a good foundation.
Yeah.
A house can't stand unless the foundation's
good.
And people seem to skip over that.
Right. Absolutely.
And your reputation, or setting up the processes you need so that your reputation is maintained and stays good, is the actual very foundation that you need.
It is. It really is. So
You
what's
get
it?
one review
Uh-huh.
or one person that doesn't like you, you're in trouble.
Right. Can you share what's the difference between a review and a complaint?
Yes. A complaint is when somebody doesn't like something in your restaurant. Unfortunately, these days we call them Karens. Uh, so a Karen goes into your restaurant and just totally flips out.
Right.
And the people there are not happy with the service. They're not happy with something because now the staff is all messed up. So you get a number of complaints.
Right.
They may even give you negative reviews.
Mm-hmm.
Those are they're unfortunate
Mm-hmm.
that people get them or restaurants get them, but they happen. It's a natural course of doing business. You cannot make everybody happy.
Right.
So the thing is that the review platforms will kind of punish a restaurant or an agency that gets a bad review.
Mm-hmm.
One bad review can knock a company down 17 to 20 points.
Wow. I never knew
Yeah,
restaurants get that. I never knew that. Never knew that. Never knew
Yeah,
that.
it's pretty bad, pretty severe.
Right.
So what that means is that a bad review will knock you down 17 to 20 points.
Mm-hmm.
In order to cover that up, you need at least another 19 to 20 good reviews
Oh my gosh.
to come on top of the bad one to keep your score up.
Right. Wow.
So it's really it's tough.
Right. And how what are some of the suggestions that you give to keep these reviews coming in well? Like you said, a lot of people I know, they do say great things about it, but they never send a great review. You only see the bad reviews. So how do you, as a restaurateur, combat that?
Well, it's interesting because what we find is that more than 70% of the people
Mm-hmm.
will give a restaurant a good review or a review period if they excuse me, if they were only asked.
Right. Yeah, that's
which
the
is
difference.
really interesting because that's the problem. They don't ask.
Mm-hmm.
And because the restaurant has staff that are interchanged out often,
Right.
we have that whole debate about how much a restaurant worker needs to be paid.
Right.
And we have the whole thing with inflation now and everything. But if people were asked to give a review, if they really like the place and they come back there often,
Mm-hmm.
they would be happy to give a review.
Right.
But many restaurants don't know how to ask for a review. They don't have anything in place to get them.
Right.
They may have a sign up, but it's cumbersome because they can't go directly to a review platform because the restaurants are signed into multiple review platforms.
Mm-hmm.
So how does somebody give a review on a platform that they want to give it on? It's crazy.
Yeah. I know that I went to get my oil changed at a franchise, and the manager, I was very pleased with their work and how nice the workers were. And she walked up and she had this billboard, and she says, "Can you just run your phone over this QR code and give us a review?" I said, "By all means," and I'm like, "Yeah, this is really great." My phone pulls it up, give the review. I thought that was really ingenious. To have it on like a sturdy piece of board, and I thought that was really great for her to follow up like that. And you're right, to ask for a review is so important. I never knew how important they were until I started getting bad reviews.
There you go.
So someone had told me, and I want to ask you, someone had told me when you get a bad review, it's best not to refute it or talk to the person about it. How would you, as someone who deals with reputation, give advice for that?
Okay. I don't know why somebody said you shouldn't talk to the person.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Restaurant owners is that.
Right. Go ahead.
Yeah, we tell them if you get a bad review,
right,
first respond to the bad review in writing.
Okay.
You know, be empathetic with the people. Let them know that you're on top of it, and you really want to know why they gave a bad review. Mm-hmm. So you do need to have a conversation, whether it's through text messaging or a phone call or something. But you need to talk to the people that gave the bad review, find out what happened, why they're unhappy, and then see if you can try and make it better for them. Mm-hmm. And you put all of that down. A restaurant owner should, and anybody that gets a bad review, should write all of that down attached to the bad review. Let people know that you do care, that you're working on making things better. Mm-hmm. And people don't mind a bad review if they see that the owner is taking responsibility, not blaming somebody else, and that they are working on fixing whatever the problem was.
Right.
That makes us all feel comfortable working with and going to a restaurant that does that.
Right. It really does. Yeah. You really want to see that they're kind of dealing with whether if it was review or a bad situation that they kind of turned into a good one. So you really want to see that. It makes the people real, and it makes you, it builds your trust with restaurants. Because I know I have a select diet. So I'm gluten-free and I'm lactose-free. So I am always looking for the great taste, the great popping taste,
There you go. Yeah.
So how do you, as this reputation manager for restaurants, how do you continue to develop new clients? How do you find them? Because you do have a great niche.
Well,
I would say
reach
that.
out to them. Yeah, it's a hard one.
Yeah.
Restaurant owners are very unique in that they know the problems that they have. They know what they need, but they are so busy in their restaurant that it's kind of hard to even reach them.
Right.
So my method of reaching out to them is kind of twofold. I send an email to the restaurant. I call them, and then I send another email.
Right. Okay.
Because you have to just let the restaurant owner know that you are trying to reach them, and that they can find an email from you. And so it's twofold. You got to call them, you got to email them. Sometimes if they're local, I'll go visit them and let them know that I'm trying to reach out to them.
Right. So tell us how you first got started into this. How did you first get started as a reputation management agency?
Oh my. Well, I like to be different. I'm always looking for the unique thing to work in business, and I like food. Like you, I like restaurants, and I want to be able to go and eat out.
Right.
And so when I was in doing some research, I found that restaurants have a hard time getting good reviews or reviews, period.
Period, right.
And so when I came across the opportunity to be able to help restaurants out and get them good reviews, it was just a natural thing for me to do, because I like to eat, I like to go out, so I like to meet the owners of businesses. So it's all one big thing for me.
Right.
I like entrepreneurship. I love entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
I like restaurant owners, and I like to help out. So It's all part of my DNA, I think.
And that's a good thing. That's a good thing when it's all part of the DNA.
Yes.
So when did you first realize that you were an entrepreneur?
Oh my God, that's going to tell you my age. Back when I was in my 20s,
okay,
I heard somebody do a presentation about, this is really going to tell my age, Carlton Sheets.
Oh, me and you were together.
And I heard him say, some things about employment and working and being an entrepreneur and being free from the employee cycle and everything. And that resonated with me, that stuck with me. And I don't like working for other people.
Yeah.
I can't, the last time I tried to get a job, it lasted 3 hours.
Oh, what?
So,
well, you good. That's good. That's good.
yeah, it was funny too. My wife she dropped me off and then she waited down the block.
Yeah. Well, she knew. Yeah, she knew right away that it was, and that's good. I think that's a great thing when we realize that that we're leaders, because it takes a lot of tenacity, it takes grit, it takes stick-to-itiveness to be an entrepreneur, and it takes a lot of creativity. Let me tell you, what you're doing in this type of field. No, I don't know anybody that has just like taken that piece and said, "Hey, this is what I'm doing," and then you made it so purposeful when you said, "I love to eat." And that just made it so much more like, oh yeah, that's his. There's nothing I can do with that. That's his. I like how you're so you talk about being an entrepreneur and you love entrepreneurship. Will you ever, at one point in your business, start teaching what you do?
Yes. Okay. That is actually part of what I do.
Okay.
Now I so I do the reputation management,
right?
And I run groups for restaurant owners to help them with getting their reputation really solid. Mm-hmm. But then on the side right now,
right?
I do some coaching,
right,
to help other entrepreneurs to find their way and to gain a better foothold in what they're doing.
Right.
So I don't really teach what I'm doing. I kind of help other people who are entrepreneurs get to where they want to go.
Right.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Wherever that is.
Yeah, right. And are you thinking about in the future, because this world has become so techy, to kind of put this into an online feature, like for restaurateurs to okay, I might not have time to listen to you, but I can listen to you on the recording and listen to what you have to say. Will you be doing something like that in the other part of your business?
That's what I'm doing now. It's all wonderful. Pretty much automated.
Oh, that's nice. That's good.
It is pretty much online.
Great.
So great. I do little short videos,
okay, to
educate them, to teach them, and to bring them along the process so that they go from, I think I need a review system, to, oh my God, I really need one now.
Right.
So I bring them along the way to teach them that. And so, yes, it is a process.
Right. Okay.
I try and cut it down as short as I can, though.
Yeah. People's attention spans. You know that, right? So, yeah, that's really, really good. So, what is on the horizon for you? Can you just give us, like, what you got going on, new events, things that are coming up, books, whatever is going on, and how we can really tap into you in your Phoenix area? Because you're not just Phoenix only, am I correct? Can you do this internationally? Can you do this, worldwide?
Yes, I can. Yes, I'm nationwide. Mm-hmm. But what's happening for me right now, to be honest, it's because I have a couple of businesses going.
Right.
I'm a big family guy. I got 7 grandkids.
Oh.
And my thing right now is legacy building.
Yeah.
We all go into business to make money, so that we can live a better life. Mm-hmm. But what we miss is that we need to turn that business around so that it just does not feed just me. I needed to be able to feed my children and my grandchildren.
Right.
And that requires a different mindset, a different way of thinking, and you got to build the business a little differently to make sure that it survives past you. And so that's what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to build my business so that it is a legacy thing, so that my children can just step into it. My grandchildren can just step into it and keep going.
Right. That's beautiful. That's building legacy wealth is so very important.
Yes.
Now,
Yes, it's
now, there may be a stereotype connected to, what you do. Is there anything that you could debunk for someone that's like going to, not your particular niche, but say help a special group of people in building, their business? Is there something that, people think that's not really true and that you can say, this is not real about your business?
Oh my. Well, the gurus tell you that, if you do this kind of business or that kind of business, you can work 3 hours a day, 20 minutes a day, and rest on the beaches of the world.
Right.
Well, there's not one entrepreneur that I know of that can do that unless they have things automated.
That is correct.
It has to be 100% automated so that you can walk away from it, and it still works and still brings in money.
Right.
So there aren't many people that make their systems automated.
No, there's not many.
That whole thing about going to living on the beaches of the world and living the life of your dreams. Most entrepreneurs work 17, 18, 20 hours a day. And that's the reality of it.
It is.
Even if it's automated, you still got to do some things to make sure that everything is working right. You got to respond to people's questions.
Yeah.
So, entrepreneurs work a lot more than an employed person.
They do.
A whole lot more.
We are. We're the marketers of our business.
We have the freedom to do that.
Yeah. We are the marketers of our business. We create the content. We do all of that,
Yes.
And maybe we have like someone who does it for us once, but we create all of that. And then, like you said, you want to be like building that system or putting everything online. You still have to market that. It doesn't just sit there. Oh yeah, somebody's going to buy that. You have to market that.
Right. Yes.
It's always got to be in somebody's face.
You have to keep pushing it.
Absolutely. So it's always got to be in someone's face. You're the marketer. You're not the CEO that sits down and just, hey, do this and do that. No, you do it.
Yeah. As an entrepreneur, we wear every single hat that there is.
Yeah.
And what I tell people is, if you think of a large corporation, Walmart or something like that, and you have the president and every office, all the way down to the person that sells the product in the store, an entrepreneur takes every single one of those levels.
Yeah.
We are everything.
Yep.
And we do everything.
Yep.
We run the company as a CEO, and we also sell the product as a salesperson.
Yeah, exactly.
And everything in between.
Yes. What do you think is the most important part of, getting, is it marketing? Is it sales? Is it the backstory? What do you think is the most important part that keeps you afloat in your business?
The system. You have to have a system.
Okay.
Most entrepreneurs do not have a system. And what I mean by a system is, from the time that you are thinking about reaching out to a person or a customer, to a potential customer, all the way until they are done with you, that all needs to be built out, one piece at a time, and built out correctly, so that the potential customer, can flow through it without any problems or any interruptions and get to the very end of your system. When you can do that,
right,
you're good to go.
Right.
Many entrepreneurs can't do that.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, we're not, and it goes back to what you said in the beginning, and what I love about what you said on your website. Get it set up from the start. We don't.
Yes.
Most entrepreneurs have the idea and they run with it, and they don't set up the things they need to from the start, from the foundational part, which is very important.
Yes. And it took me many, 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 many years to learn that.
Yeah.
It really did.
Yeah.
I was doing the same thing everybody else was doing, just hitting the ground running, hustling, trying to make a sale.
Yeah.
But as I matured in the business world, I learned that you need systems. Everything works on a system.
Yep, exactly.
A car works on a system. An airplane works on a system. You have to work on a system. Your business has to work on a system.
Yep, right. Because when I learned that, I was like, oh, wow. I've been like running like crazy. And when you really sit down with about it, I had no value on my time. So I really calculated like the time I spent hustling. I was like, I'm losing money every day because I don't have a system set up. If I would have had the system set up, this right here would be worth my time to do, or I would not choose to do that or that or that if I had a system set up, knew what my I guess my core value was. Like, so if my service was worth arbitrarily $25 an hour, I didn't charge that in the beginning, and I'm saying, being nice to someone. Okay, I'll do it for free for you, or give me $15, but I did 3 of those. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then you come home and you're like, oh, I made money today.
What happens. That's exactly what happens when you don't have a system.
Yeah. And
that is exactly what happens.
And it's terrible.
Having a system locks you in to what you need to do. Knocks you into the correct things to do. Yeah,
it does. It really does.
Because if you had a system, if we have a system, I can't offer you $25 when it's $200.
Right.
The system won't let me.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you get somebody to blame when you have a system.
Exactly.
Like
you do.
When you're a kid and you want to go out and you go, my mother said I can't do it.
Yeah.
You're blaming somebody else.
Exactly.
Even though you just don't want to go out, you blame somebody else.
Right.
The same thing when you have a system. I'm sorry, my system will not allow me to do this.
Right.
It has to be this much.
Right. And it makes sense.
And when we get that, we find the value in what we actually do. Because when you build a system out, you have to assign value to every part of it.
Yeah. I can't tell you how much confidence and how much clarity I had when I built the system. I was like, it was like amazing. I was like, oh, wow, I can't do that. I can't do this. I can't do this.
It was liberating.
Yeah, it was. It was like, whoa, you mean to tell me? And I'm like, it was like, I felt like I was going up a hill, but cycling backwards. I felt like that, but once I was like, once I got the system, and I was like, wow, from everything, even social media part, all of that. When I got the system and I wrote it down, see, I hear, because I'm a coach as well, I hear entrepreneurs say, it's in my head. Yeah, I was like, yeah, that's not a good place for it to be. It's not a good place.
Yeah.
It has to be a system. It has to be written out, and it has to be adhered to, because in your head, it's just going to go round and around and get mixed up with everything else. And then you end up going everywhere, every which way, right? You end up going all over.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Yes, when I found out, when my coach told me to write it down.
Yeah.
And he stood there over me and he said, write it down right now.
Yeah.
And that's when I found out that what you said was true. It gets mixed up with everything else that I was thinking. Because then it's like, okay, well, I could do this, but maybe I should do that.
Right.
Or maybe I should do this with that, and that with this. And so then, when you write the system out and get it written down, then you know for sure this is how it's going to go.
Yeah. And then it changes as you mature. Like, I like how you are so, your niche is so focused. It changes, and that wasn't always always the thing. Your marketing changes. So it's like you get more fine tuned until you say, this is it.
Yes.
It's like, this is it. And so it doesn't stay the same, but it matures. It gets better and better, like fine wine. Fine wine.
Yeah, and just for your viewers to understand, when I got the reputation management system, right, the products and everything, my first title was just reputation management. I was going for anybody and everybody on earth.
Right.
And then my coach was like, "Oh, that's nice. Now, who are you really servicing?" And so I kept knocking it down and building it down, and eventually I came to restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "That's nice. Which ones?"
Wow. Yeah, you're
like,
right. That's what they do. Yes.
Mom and pop, because he's like mom and pop. There's franchises. There's these small mom and pops that have like 2 or 3 restaurants, and the franchises that have 30 restaurants. Which ones?
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, wow, I didn't know I should do that. But yeah, niching down is the way to go.
Yeah.
You have to niche down. You have
to.
And the first feeling you're going to feel is that you're losing out.
Yeah, but
on all these other places and people that you could service.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is, the longer you're scattered, the least amount of money you make.
Yeah, you do.
The more niche down you are, the more money you make.
Yeah, and it's true. I found that, because I wanted to coach women. My coach said to me, "Okay, what women?" I was like, all of them. He's like, "No, which women?" And then he's like, "Where is the pain point?" And he asked me this specific question. He said, "When did things change for you that you wanted to help people change for themselves?" And I was like, whoa. And then I was like, well, I believe it was in my 40s. He says, "Well, then that's who you're servicing." So I was like, okay, now. And then he said, what income level? I said, wait, what? He said, what income level? And I was like, well, if I don't service this area, now here's my emotions talking. He says, but emotions have nothing to do with money. Now, if you tell me you want to service let's say the women in shelters, and they don't, they need your service, okay? How are you going to pitch them? You know that they don't have the money. You know the money comes from another place. Do you have a pitch ready for that? And he was just, I was bucking all the way. I was like, no, that's just no. And I'm telling him no. Like, I'm telling him
I
no.
went through the same thing. We all go through the same thing.
Yes, I'm telling him no. So I was like, I'm really confused right now. I think this session's over. I'm getting out of the session. And he was just as calm.
I did the same thing too.
Yes. I'm getting out of the session.
I was like, okay, you know what? I gotta wait. I gotta come back.
Yeah, that's what I would say. Yeah, I would say that. I would say, I gotta come back. No, I gotta come back. I was like, no, this isn't. He'll just as calmly, he'd say, well, what isn't sitting right with you? At trying to fine tune it, or not believing you can service this area? And that would even irritate me even more. It was like, I just don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it right now. Can I table this and come back? He's like, you can write it down, but you still have to come back to it. And I was like, oh, And finally, at the end of it,
because what we find is that when you're niching down, you start eliminating what you cannot handle.
Yeah, and that's it.
And what you don't want to handle. Yeah,
exactly. And that's what he says. Because to handle the women in the shelter, you're going to have to get funding from somewhere. Are you set up to fund that right now? You want to do this right now, so you have to pick a different. It could still be in your plan, but you got to pick. If you want progress now in 30 to 90 days, and this is what he tells me, you don't want shelter because you got to do something different. And you got to prepare something. Your foundation has to be different. So let's come back to that. And I was like adamant,
Yeah.
But I slept on it, and then I was like, he's right. And I had to go back and say, yeah, you were right. Okay. You were right.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah. So it's a lot of niching down. And like I said, I really like the fact that you are working with reputation. And that's a great word. Let me just tell you. It just goes to the top of the list in my head. Reputation management. Wow. Like, come on. And then when I read it, I was like, it is a lot to it. And it means a lot. It means a lot. This is really important for our audience to know. An audience, I'm having a great time with Do you prefer Maxwell or you prefer Max? Or it's okay. Which one do you?
Either one, doesn't matter.
Okay. So I'm really having a great time talking about this because this is intriguing to me. And audience, I'm sure that you're getting a lot from what Maxwell is saying. So I want to thank the audience right now at this part because we're now going to switch the tables a little bit now, and we want to learn about who the personal Maxwell is. So, of course, you know my questions, audience. So I'm going to ask Maxwell to answer the questions, and we're going to learn all about you personally because we know now that you're a great business person, and we want to know now who you are as a person. So, can you tell us what was your best compliment you ever received?
That I was a good grandpa.
Oh. Yeah, I think I like that one too. Yeah, I like that one. That's
Family
great.
is big for me, and that's the biggest compliment I ever got.
Yeah, families is the world to me too. I love it. So, who's the most important person that pushed you with this business that you have? Who pushed you? Really pushed you?
Oh, can I say that?
Sure.
All right. Well, Marquell Russell.
Okay. And why?
And he's online. You can find him everywhere.
Okay. Okay.
Why?
Yeah.
He's the one that helped me to zero in and really niche down and focus.
Okay. Good.
It was his training that got me to get to where I am and where I can go.
Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. What would you pick for your last meal?
Well, this is going to really mess people up.
Okay.
So, to drink,
Yes.
I want original ginger beer.
Yes.
And for food, I'm really simple with that. I like spaghetti and meatballs
Ah.
with red sauce.
Ah.
Garlic bread, and I'm happy. That's it.
Okay.
Real simple.
Real simple. That is a real simple meal. If you had a billboard and you could put anything on it that you wanted, what would it be and why?
It would say unity and solidarity by any means necessary, no matter what.
Very good. Unity and solidarity. And why would you say that?
It is the plight of our people.
Yeah. Amen to that.
So
yes.
the folks in your audience who don't understand that or don't realize what I'm saying, I'm African American, and unity and solidarity by any means necessary, no matter what.
No matter what.
Is what needs to happen.
That's so very important. You're right. You are right.
It's on my wall.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
That's a plaque on my wall.
That's really great. That is wonderful. So, final thoughts. What is your best tip you can share with our audience today who are in business?
Who are in business? There are 33 ways you can make money online, no matter what business you are in.
Okay.
How many are you using?
Ooh. Sheesh. Sheesh. You just get me in trouble altogether by myself. Ooh. I gotta think on that one. That one right there. Yeah. You're right. There are. How many am I using?
There's a thought behind that.
Yes.
No matter how old you are, personally, how old anybody is, just because of your experience in life and your knowledge of whatever it is you do, there is always somebody behind you that needs to talk to you and learn what you know.
Yeah. That's true.
So the question is, how come you're not telling them what to do?
Ooh, that's great. That's good. That's good. That is good. Well, audience, you've heard this from our esteemed guest today, Maxwell Tolliver, Reputation Management Agency, which I'm totally in love with the concept. And I hope that you really got something from his experience, and I'm looking forward to talking to him again and having him back on and talking about a whole other subject. But right now we're gonna have to say goodbye to you because we've gotten to that time. So you can find me and you can listen to me, and I'm at EJW Coaching on Instagram, Twitter, and on Facebook. And I want to thank you for listening. And if you enjoyed the episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others, post it about on social media, and leave a rating or review. And there is a new button that's on Anchor right now. If you'd like to ask Mr. Maxwell Tolliver a question, you can just hit the button, leave the question, and I can send it right to Maxwell to answer for you. Now, Maxwell, before we go, how can we find you on social media?
Oh my. Well, because I am everywhere, Maxwell Tolliver or Maxwell D. Tolliver, on anything.
Okay. Well, you've heard it.
Literally, I have an account on everything.
Okay. Me too. We're there. We're saturating the area.
Even TikTok. I'm like,
yes.
Why do I need TikTok? I got it. I don't know. My daughter put me on TikTok. I don't know.
Yeah, me too. So yeah. So I'm glad that you're here with us, and thanks again. Thanks so much. Audience, you could have been anywhere else, but you have come to listen to us today. And remember to tune in for next week. And we thank you. My name is Edna White, and my esteemed guest, Maxwell Tolliver, saying goodbye for now.
Bye, everyone.